Hi, welcome to Texas Lone Wolf Miguel, your source for Red Pill Truth, and today we are going to talk about a controversial topic. All right, collapse of society. What is a collapse of society? Okay, what is a collapse of society? Collapse of civilization. All right, so we're going to talk about societal collapse. Um, anyways, and I'm going to go ahead and put this up here because we need to address this. We need to discuss this. All right. Now, um, I don't know how many of you remembered the the time where okay, you know, we had this crime that happened in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't know what their policies are on self-defense. Um, anyways, this is very serious. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. 1970s report. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and put. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this up, and I'm going to tie this in with the video I'm doing. This was prophesied in 1970s. Talk about in 2040s. Okay, and we're in 2023 right now. And I don't know what the future holds. So here you go. I got it up here. Now, we're going to talk about this. There was a woman raped on a train in Philadelphia. They arrested the guy. All right. The company or the state or the whoever operates that train threatened a bunch of people. They had phones and stuff. They don't know who the person is. They have cameras on the train and what have you. And, he overpowered the woman. Nobody did anything. Nobody called 911. Nobody pressed the red button on the call box. It lasted for 8 minutes. All right. So, with that being said, now we're going to go talk about this here from the 1970s. I was born in the 70s. So, 1970s report. This was updated 2021. All right. Are you ready for this? A steep downturn in human population quality of life could be coming in the 2040s to report finds. Alrighty, I'm going to open this up here. And human society is on track for collapse in the next 2 decades. from the 2 decades in the 70s would be 1990s to where we at right now in the new millennium. All right. So now we got the stuff going on behind the scenes, doing a digital currency, whatever. They have limits to growth. It was pushed by these corporate lobbyists and stuff trying to influence our politicians to rule against us, the voters. People who vote for elections are often ignored, so to speak. They're ignored. They're shut out. They take the votes. They shut the voters out. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, you want to believe in such a narrative like a Pharisee, go right ahead and believe it. Because you will fall face forward right into the ground. The speaker of truth has no friends. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and read this. In a report published in Best Limits to Growth 1972, the team MIT scientists argued industrial civilization was bound to collapse if corporations and governments continue to pursue continuous economic growth no matter the cost. The researchers forecasted 12 possible scenarios for the future, which predicted the point where natural resources will become so scarce. Well, right now, natural resources are not scarce. We got pockets of gas to power our homes. We got pockets. Listen, we can make our own LP or aka propane gas in a manufacturing facility. We can make our own renewable resource. But we got psychopaths that are behind the scenes wielding their little muscle trying to cause trouble with the population. All right? And anyways, and this was also prophesied way back in the times when the Bible was printed with the ancient scrolls and stuff. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. And personal welfare will plummet. Okay, in famous scenario, the business as usual BAU scenario predicts the world economic growth could peak around 2040s and then take a sharp downturn along with a great global population, food availability, natural resources, imminent collapse. Wouldn't be the end of the human race, but rather society turning point would see the standards of living drop around the world for decades. Excuse me. I mean, so what's the world outlook society now? Half a century after MIT researchers shared prognostication, sustainability and dynamic system analysis researcher. KPMG decided to find out November 2020 issue of Yale Journal of Industrial Ecology expanded research on she began as a graduate of Harvard University. Now these are the corrupt schools that teaches gender studies to corrupt human minds and hate yourself and turn yourself into a Marxist. These universities are... Listen, if you want to go where the money's at, go to a trade school. You get minimal amount of debt. You'll go to work, be able to pay your stuff off, and make the money you need to sustain life. Follow me? Harrington found out current state of the world measured roughly 10 different variables, including population, fertility rates, pollution levels, food production, industrial output, align extremely closely with two of the scenarios proposed in 1972, namely BAU Scenario 1, called Comprehensive Technology, which technology advances help reduce pollution, increase food supplies, even natural resources run out. Which we got oil to last us hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay, we can power an automobile for many years to come, and they're coming up with this mess right here. You know, this right here, they're coming up with that mess. I tell you what the real cost of the society collapse is: an ideology funded by the Rockefellers, funded by the CIAs, funded by the FBI, funded by the U.S. government, funded by many governments around the world, and the society will fall on its face. Feminism is a poison pill for society. And many women nowadays have said, why don't men protect us anymore? Well, don't you remember? I don't need any man. I can do it all by myself. I tell you what, there was one college student said the same thing. She said the same thing, and she went to work in the medical field. Overtime through the nose. Hours and hours worked weekly. She even admitted on video she was burnt out. And she realized she was sold a lie by the instructor of university, feminism. She was bought into that lie, and she's burned out. Now she wants to settle down and get her a man. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. And when a woman is 18 in her 20s, she's in her prime time of her life. She's in the prime time of her life, okay? Then she hits 30s. She's got just a little bit of spark left. I mean, she lost 80 to 90% of her eggs in the age of 30. She still can make children, but she runs 50-50 chance of having a Still or Down syndrome child. And it ain't the child's fault for being conceived at a later age. And pairing that up with smoking, running to clubs, that won't help anything anyways. Haven't you ever heard of fetal alcohol syndrome? That's when the mother drinks on her pregnancy. And she comes up with this little feminism idea. I can do it all by myself. I can do everything myself. I don't need a man. Well, this is what you got. This is what you bargained for. It is what it is. Then you come up with this, now I need to buy me a man now. I'm getting old. My biological clock is slowly ticking. I need to find me somebody now. Guess what? You got what you wanted. You got no man don't want to see you, touch you, take up time with you. It is what it is. So, now let's get back to this story here. While CT scenario produced less of a shock to the global population, personal welfare, lack of resources will still lead to a point where economic growth sharply declines. In other words, sudden collapse of industrial society. Will the people population collapse? Not exactly. But the BAU and CT scenario shows a halt in growth within a decade from now. Harrington wrote in her study, both scenario indicates continuing business as usual, that is, pursuing continuous growth is not possible. Good news is, not too late to avoid both these scenarios. Well, you know, it is like that. Stabilized world scenario, this path begins roots due to the population pollution, economic growth, rise in tandem, natural resource decline. Different when humans decide to deliberately limit economic growth on their own, lack of resources forcing them to. So, many people go out and vote for policies that they don't know what the heck they're voting for. And this is a prime design for these globalists. It's to dumb down the population, get your vote, rule against you. If you see where I'm coming at. They want to rule against you with the favor of these lobbyists. SW scenario assumes that in addition to technology solution, global society priorities change. Harrington wrote, change in values and policies translate into, amongst other things, low desired family size, perfect birth control availability, deliberate choice to limit industrial output, and prioritize health and education services. We're having that right now. And we're on a steady decline. They're predicting when 2050 gets here and 2040 gets here, all right, they're predicting that, they're predicting right now that we are going to have aging individuals taking care of aging individuals, and each of them will be dropping one by one. So I'm fixing to show you right here, and here you go. I think this resource is overrated. Population is going to be steady. Food is going to be all right. Resource is going to be on a decline. Pollution is going to be on a decline. And according to 1972 here is we're on schedule. This looks like a charred images of the forest. So this right here about Statue of Liberty being underwater, they use that as a fear tactic. And then they come out with a BAU2 model. And they revised this here. And population is going to be on a downward spiral right here. Food is going to be on it. Now, this is 2021. But let's go back and take a good look at go back and take a look at this. But anyways, vaccines and all that, many people are, I don't know. I can't speak on that too much. We're on schedule. And so, just give you a heads up. All right? I want to give you a heads up. Now, this SW right here is talking different. Stabilized world. Listen, don't take it. Don't take it with a. You just listen to me. I'm gonna put this here to discuss the world that we're living in. I mean, just like in Pennsylvania, the woman did not have a weapon. But voters voted for these policies in Pennsylvania for citizens in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania not to be armed. And as you have to call police and the responses slow down. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, to people who voted for policies on the democratic control of the state or the Commonwealth, this is what you're going to get. You're going to be able to defend yourself. But yet you voted for these politicians. What have they delivered to you? Nothing. You voted for policies that are bad. So maybe the voters need to take a good hard look at themselves and see what in the world are you voting for. Anyways, I'm done with this recording, and peace.